It's day 157 and Mulligan is headed southbound again. So let me explain. Sorry, I'm going up and down like this, but roots are the thing in Maine. They're really kind of a pain in more ways than one. I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. But I've already rolled my ankle like 2 or 3 times in the last like 3 days. But anyway, so from Caratunk, where I took the ferry yesterday, the canoe, it's about 40 miles or so to Monson, which is the beginning of the 100-mile wilderness. I think I mentioned this already. So that would be 2 20-mile days with a pack, which is doable, but it's not exactly the way I would like to start off the 100-mile wilderness. Like already had 2 tough days, or at least 2 long days with a pack. So there was only one road crossing between Caratunk and Monson, of significance anyway. And that was about 6 miles north. I think it's called Pleasant Pond. And so Mrs. Mulligan is back from her travels, and she brought me north about 6 miles from Caratunk to Pleasant Pond. I think it's a trailhead. And now I'm just today walking 6 miles southbound back to the river. And then tomorrow I'll leave with a pack, and instead of having to do 2 20-mile days, I'll have like 2 217s or 2 16s or something like that. Less. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is at this point. So it'll make the next 2 days a little bit easier. And I can do a little bit today. Didn't really need to take a 0. So that's the plan. And then I'll either take a day off and go into the 100-mile wilderness, or start right away. I've got to talk to them in Monson at a place called Shaw's. It's sort of a famous hiker hostel there, and sort of get their advice on resupply and that sort of thing in Monson. So sort all that out. So it should just be a couple hours today, and it's supposed to rain, but hopefully it'll hold off for a couple hours for me. Not too much to look at today. Can't call it a long green tunnel because it wasn't very far. I've got about 0.5 left of this 6-mile hike, and the trail actually, as soon as I said I was going to turn the camera around and show you just how horrible the roots were, it turned into like this smooth, very cruisable trail. It has been for probably the last 4 miles or so. Like I said, I just have 0.5 left. It's just starting to rain. I can hear it. It usually actually takes about 10 minutes for it to break through the leaves and start to be wet underneath. So hopefully I will almost beat the rain. And then, like I said, tomorrow I'll start back up going northbound with my pack. And maybe I'll try that trick again. I'll say, let's see just how bad, I'll show you just how bad the roots are, and maybe then they'll magically disappear again. I doubt it, but I'll give it a shot. See you tomorrow northbound. Tomorrow. This way today. Oops. There's the trail up there. Can you tell it's raining on day 158? I think it's day 158, right? And Mrs. Mulligan just dropped me off at Pleasant Pond Road or something like that. And I've got, let's see, it's like at 31 miles to Monson. So more I do today, less I have to do tomorrow. And it rained hard last night, really hard. But it's just sort of drizzling now. And that I think is supposed to stop in a couple hours, but then rain again later on this afternoon. It's not a great forecast long term either, but I can't do much about it. Just got to roll with it. Had a nice stretch there for the last week or so. And I can't, not like I can wait around for the weather at this point. So we'll just, like I said, roll with it, make the best of it. Do as many miles as I can today, then get to Monson tomorrow and sort out how I'm going to handle the 100-mile wilderness. Final push. I'm just on my way up Pleasant Pond Mountain. When I said the other day there are no big mountains left, didn't mean there were no mountains. This one, I don't know, maybe it's just shy of 3,000 feet. But this is what I was talking about yesterday. Check out the roots in the trail. And they're all wet today too. It's actually not too bad going uphill because you're going slow anyway. But on the flat or downhill, when you want to go quicker, they're really a pain. Literally. Almost at the top of Pleasant Pond Mountain. Actually a bit of blue sky. Just came from down there. Not much of a view back the way I came from. I hope there's not too much of this smooth rock. As I've said before, it's a whole different deal when it's wet like this. I just slipped there. Takes almost no incline for it to get really slippery. I think I'm almost to the top. Bit of a view. It's trying to clear up a little bit. That is some of Moxie Pond there. Again, Moxie Pond's a little deceiving. I think it's probably 10 or 15 miles long. But that's just a little bit of it. And then I've got, after that, I think Moxie Bald Mountain to climb. I don't know if the microphone's picking that up, but it's either hunting dogs or coyotes. I've heard it for probably the last half hour, and I feel like they're getting closer. Hopefully they aren't talking about me. Oh, just stopped. From what I understand, it is bear season, hunting season right now, and amongst other ways, apparently you can hunt bears up here is with dogs. So I don't know if that's what that is, or it's coyotes. Where I used to live in Massachusetts, we had a fair amount of coyotes, and they didn't really sound like that. They're a little more high-pitched, but These sound more like hunting dogs to me. But like I said, hopefully they're talking back and forth about me, because wherever that yipping's coming from, it's getting closer. That's where I've come from. That's Moxie Pond. You can see it extends quite a ways in the distance there. And I'm just on my way up the last, hopefully, little bit of Moxie Bald, which has dried out with this little bit of sun and breeze, which is great. This is the tip top. They call it Moxie Bald. It's actually Bald Mountain. They just call it Moxie Bald because Moxie Pond is right there. Some wind turbines. What is it? 2630. But I think I came up from like 900 feet at the base, so it was a pretty healthy climb. So it isn't necessarily how high the mountain is. It's what the elevation gain is. But this is interesting. You know, you get these big, huge bolts in the rock. There was something up here at some point. Pretty cool summit though, big bald plate summit. AT actually goes off that direction. You can kind of see some of the cairns there. This is the descent from Moxie Bald, and that's Bald Mountain Pond. It's a pretty one. Well, they're all pretty, but that one is really, really, really pretty. You run out of sort of superlatives with some of this stuff, or I do. Anyway. Well, started the day in the rain and finishing the day in the rain. Just walking alongside this little creek over here. Had to ford my first stream where I wasn't able to rock hop a couple miles back. And it was just starting to rain. My feet were already wet. And I debated, should I take my shoes off, put on my Crocs? But I said the heck with it. Just waded right through it. And I've got about, I think, a mile or so left to the shelter. So not too bad. You can see though, look at all the leaves down on the trail. So it'll be, I think, when I get done, about a 22 and a bit mile day, which is the first time since I don't know when I've managed over 20 miles. I think since probably Vermont. So as I say that, we head uphill. But it's nice to be able to put up some bigger miles for a change. We'll see who's around, if there's people around at the shelter or not. If it's quiet, maybe I'll take some video there. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully not in the rain. Good morning. It is day 159. Let's see, September 25th, I think. Let's see, third day of fall. And I'm just left out of the Horseshoe Canyon lean-to. They call them lean-tos here in Maine instead of shelters. Walked for about an hour in the rain last night before getting there, but it was dry. I had like an 8-person lean-to, 4 other folks there. Just a side note, if you ever go buy a sleeping pad for backpacking, blow it up in the store and try it out if you can. There's a certain kind, and I'd been warned, so I didn't get one, but there's a certain kind, one of the lightweight kinds, it's kind of like an air mattress, almost like one of those swimming pool floaty air mattresses. But anytime someone moves on one, it makes the most incredible loud noise. So if you shuffle around a lot, like I do when I'm sleeping, and this other guy did, or a couple of people did, that had him in the shelter, oh my gosh, they're the noisiest things. The littlest movement, they are so noisy. I can't imagine how they don't wake you up if you're asleep. Anyway, I slept there last night and just left. I think this is the east branch of the Pisqua something river. I think it's the one that I had to walk across, that I couldn't rock hop across yesterday afternoon, that I waded across. So this morning I had to put on wet, cold shoes, which was fun. All part of the exciting AT experience. And I think there's a few more of them coming up. I think I've got another one that I have to wade across. I'm wading across it again in maybe 3 more miles or something like that. But I've got about 9 miles to Monson, the last stop before the 100-mile wilderness. So I'll hopefully be there by, I don't know, maybe 11, a little before, and get everything sorted out and head back out into the 100-mile wilderness tomorrow. And I don't know, 5-6 days through that to Baxter State Park. Oh, I'm getting there. So here's the east branch of the Piscataquis River, something like that anyway. So my choices are A, that's the trail over there. Just leave my shoes on, leave my shoes and socks on, and just wade across. The shoes are already somewhat wet from yesterday, and I have semi-dry socks on. Or B, take off my shoes and socks and put on my Crocs and wade across. I think it's going to take a little bit longer, but I think I'm going to go with B. I think I'm going to go with Crocs. See you on the other side. Chilly way to start the morning. Here we go. Probably a bad idea to film this going across. I'll do the first couple steps and then put it away. Oh, that's cold. Oh my. Famous last words, but it doesn't seem too slippery. It's about calf deep, is that what you call it? I'm gonna have to put this away though. I think there's some bigger rocks which are slippery. Don't want to lose my phone here with only 100 and some miles to go. There's the other side, I made it. That is cold. In a weird way, it was kind of fun. I'm not sure I want to do 20 more of them, but doing a couple is fun. Or maybe one. One was fun, 2 wouldn't be so much. Piscataquis, I'll go with that pronunciation, was chilly. Oop, that's a good rock to change my socks. Put them back on. Just walking along Lake Hebron. Now, what makes this a lake and not a pond? That is the question. Lake Hebron on the map doesn't look that big. Maybe it's the opposite. When it's small, it's a lake, and when it's big, it's a pond.